What up, my people? What up? Let me lower this music a little bit. I wanted to come on here um to clear up some things. You know what I'm saying? I find myself sometimes in these different podcasts, and you know by sometimes my picture that's on my profile, you see me with a crown, a Masonic crown, and you see also that I was a chaplain because you see the jewel that I have around my neck, and it's the blue house, so you see me in blue. I've gone on some podcasts and they see that picture, and immediately some people make some very derogatory comments. Um, they just don't know. You know what I'm saying? They just don't know. You know, they just don't. Again, I don't feel it's their fault because there's been a lot of material put out there to to discredit certain things. Assalamu alaikum. What's going on, my brother? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah barakatullah. Yes. So I wanted to to go into this and just speak very briefly about it. You know what I'm saying? One day I'm going to do a very in-depth in-depth presentation. I think I touched upon it with Esoteric Thought. He has it on his archive, so he was saving it because he was speaking to an African Masonic brother, and he was relating some things to him. So we did have that discussion, and also one time, I don't think it's going to happen now, but also Sarnetta wanted to do a presentation with me about Masons. Now I'm not an expert. You know what I'm saying? It's me, Zayd. I know Zayd. Yes, assalamu alaikum, Zayd. Yeah, hope everybody's doing fine. I know everybody's doing fine, and much peace and blessings to you and your family, my brother. Yes. Thank you very much. You know, so you know, there is a lot of, and also now that Zayd is here, and and I greeted him in Islam and it's Muslim. The whole lodge mosque is built like a lodge. Yeah, it's built like a lodge because you have Islamic Masons, what they call Shriners, Masons. That school goes way back, man. That school goes back to Sargon, to Mesopotamia. It goes all the way back to ancient Kemet. Now we're gonna do. I'm gonna relate to you the difference between a speculative Mason and an operative. Hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I got a big family. Everybody wants to, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I get this? That? It's like that. So we're going to talk about speculative, and operative Mason. You know what I'm saying? I found myself in both speculative Mason in the Masonic school, the Blue House, and I also found myself in an operative Mason. I wasn't in a union, but I did work construction, and I've learned how to deal with bricks, mortar, and I was a refinisher. I was what you call a cement refinisher, and I learned that with a Native American, and we were working together at Islands of Adventure. Anybody knows in Orlando, Florida, we built City Walk, so I used to do the jackhammer. Um, I used to carry this jackhammer around wherever they needed, what area they needed. I boom, knock it out. And also when they in Islands of Adventure, I used to be a refinisher. I was helping a Native American brother, and we was refinishing the walls after they laid down the bricks and the walls, and then they'll come and the artists will come and paint it. That's an Islands of Adventure. If anybody ever been to Orlando, Florida, Universal Studios up there. So yeah, I helped build City Walk. I've done a lot of work there, and Islands of Adventure back in, it was in the 90s. Yeah, late 90s. Yeah, in the late 90s, early 2000, I was working there. You know, there at Islands of Adventure. And then later on, I became a performer at Islands of Adventure with World Beat. And we did a lot of performance there, drumming performances. Great times. You know what I'm saying? Very busy, a lot of money being made. Great times. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy it because I could go back and look at it and say, man, I helped build that. So that's being a operative Mason, to build. And you know that throughout Africa and to many different countries, you know, Masonry is a foundation because you see all these buildings, these edifices, these buildings, these lodges, these churches, all of that is built by Masonry. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they have what they call unions, or they have rite of passage. Those are skills. So I'm gonna touch a little bit upon that. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to speak about the split in Masonry. Why some people look and they read books and they look into Masonry like what is the Dogma? The book by Albert Pike, The Dogma about Satanic and Lucifer, and also when they learn about the York Rite or the Scottish Rite, and the higher you get up there, you know, you become a magi, a magician, and you know what I'm saying, a warlock, and such and such and such and such. They just don't comprehend what all of that is about, and they don't know about the split, because in speculative Masonry, right? And being that it is used as a organization, a skill to better organize the city, organize people by giving them structures and jobs. That's Masonry, speculative Masonry. That has been the core of every city in the world, every civilization in the world. It's called rite of passage, office. You know what I'm saying? The boss, you know, even the mafia was built on that. Even the present day government is built on that. You know, your schools, all your institution is built on that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna explore that a little bit. And then the split is when you have certain organization that uses those skills to implement their agenda. Now, I'm sure a lot of this heard this before, and I just want to let me look at the comment here. Hard work. Peace, brother. Hey, Seven by, great to see you again. Yeah, thank you everybody that's on here. I appreciate you so very much. Yeah. Let me look at my Facebook. So, you know, there are certain comments that were made. Take that hat off. Oh, that's satanic. And immediately you judging somebody. Okay? I know about the satanic school because I read the Satanic Bible. I was curious like that and I saw that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't practice that school of thought. I do not do that. But to understand that school of thought, man, you got experience, but I never experienced it and I never experimented with it. So I leave it alone. But I do have knowledge about it and I can recognize it. You know what I'm saying? It's all around us, that school of thought. It's all around us, again, because of the split. Masonry, Freemasonry, that school of thought, a split. Same thing in Christianity. There was a split. You have so many different Christianity groups and Islamic group because of the split. Same thing with Masonry, that split. You know, so it's to put people straight. They have to. Some people make comments and out of ignorance, man. I mean, they just ignore certain facts and they just don't know. But I don't know, maybe these are trolls, you know, and it is, you know, the people are trolls. They want to start something. They want to create what they call, an argument, this and that, you know, and I have to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? Very, very careful with that, you know, but I have to set the record straight a lot of times. You know, that school. You have to set the record straight many times. What's going on, Irvin? Yes, Raul back. Yes. Hua and Irvin, Raul back, my brothers. And so many people, because of, again, public relations, and a lot of narratives that are untrue, does not make sense. It's untrue. So they regurgitate it. You know what I'm saying? They echo that. They resonate that because they don't know. It's based on belief. Most of the people that speaks like this are people that, as a matter of fact, Christians or religious people, but then when you go into their churches are built according to a Masonic structure. Guaranteed your pastor is a Mason. Guaranteed, because he has to learn how to organize. Guaranteed. You go to the military, Masons. I met a lot of Masons in the military that went to the military because organization. It's the school of how to organize yourself. You know what I'm saying? It was started because the operative Mason, it's like you had the master Mason who was the one who actually did the work, who knows how to use the tools. He knows how the plumb line. He knows how to use the T-square. He knows how to measure things out. You know what I'm saying? And then he could take those tools. Then you have what they call the fellow craft. You have those that carry the tools. You see, I used to carry the tool for this Native American while he was doing the refinishing until I was able. Then, as he was teaching me, I was learning how to use those skills to graduate, to become, a master at refinishing cement. Now, prior to that, when you come into the construction, in some organization, you're like get me the coffee, you don't even carry the tools. You're the gopher. That's an apprentice. Do this, and now you got to study so that you can earn the right to carry those tools. When you carry those tools and you seeing the master at work, then as he feeds you all the knowledge and said, when you're ready, you become a master mason. You see, that in operative mason was transformed into a speculative mason so they can build cities. You go to any city in the United States and maybe throughout the world, in the center, there's a church. That church, guaranteed, if you look at the history of that particular church, goes all the way back. It was a Masonic lodge first. Your Masonic lodge became your courthouses, became your churches, and later became your city hall. These were African Masons. Timbuktu was built on these African Masons. Timbuktu. And these African Masons came by in Mali Empire. These Africans traveled out through the Western Hemisphere, setting up institutions. Washington Carver was a Mason. Are you kidding me? Because these institutions are built on the very ground, the core of this organization is called organization, organizing yourself. So a lot of these, now that I think about it, a lot of these people, a lot of trolls get on certain podcasts and they distract things and they make certain comments and stuff like that. And I can't take it personal. It's not personal, but I have to set the record straight because remember the internet is many people watching. So you set the record straight and you tell them, hey, listen, consider this. You're speaking, everything is half truth, but you're speaking a falsehood because you haven't put the pieces together at all. And you haven't even experienced it. You see, I can speak about it because I experienced it and I experimented with it, right? So I reason it out, So I stand to reason what it is all about. And then wisdom is knowing what's right and wrong in the school of masonry, what you do right, what you do wrong. And when you're able to recognize that and you grow in what they call wisdom. Now, by no means I'm telling everybody, go run to a lodge, join a lodge, and this and that. And by no means I'm saying that at all, okay? Because it became institutionalized. The organizations, the people have used that to create certain, churches, and they use it for their benefit. That's fine. I'm not saying to join any Masonic lodge or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, if you don't experience it, you don't experiment with it, then don't regurgitate narratives that are untrue, because you're going to expose yourself. You're going to expose yourself. And yeah, a lot of trolls, a lot of people get on these podcasts, and shout out to my brother K Solo, you know what I'm saying, and Latin Pain and K Solo and stuff like that. Much respect. And I know a lot of time those podcasts have a lot of trolls coming in there, and people just start crap. They want to start crap. And they also in Sonetta, they want to start crap. They want to say things to see, you know, to distractors. Some people even think they're computer bots, you know, that does that, a narrative, does that automatically, AI. And then some people are just distractors. They don't know, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to my brother Hansu Hansu Amun Ray, because you know, he sent me that thing, you know, all these distractors, and we had spoken about it, like Jabari and Uncle West and Sarasu Sati, all these distractors that is out through the conscious community. They don't know. If you speak to them, they never experience that school of thought. They came later on. Most of the distractors came after, in that 80, 88 on, when already we have finished. The school of Ansarullah and the Sufis was closed. Then they came later on. They didn't actually experience us building in Bushwick, the Hall of Knowledge, building. You know, a lot of them came there when they were building, yes, Tamaray, and that was the occult practice. But they did not understand that. They did not understand what all of that was all about. They did not understand that sometimes, in order to cure you of the spell that was put on you, I got to cast another spell in you. An anti-spell. Look, I like that series called Charmed. Check out the series, right? In order for them to break a spell, they got to cast another spell. They got to go into the Book of Light, Book of Darkness, Book of Light. You know, you see this a lot. In Kemet, most of those are spells, incantations, that spells that are set over what? The pharaohs or the dead body of the kings that are transitioned. You know what I'm saying? Because they believe that the genetics go on, the afterlife. Well, then one day we'll speak about that. But those are spells, incantations, that sometimes those spells can backfire on you, and also those spells can heal you. It causes an anti-spell. It breaks the spell by certain incantations. That's a science. See, I like to use natural nature. I definitely say that if you, excuse me, hey, Jocelyn, what's up, my cousin? You're so beautiful, mama. So sometimes, you know, people, you know, there's spells that are cast, and when you look at spelling and cast a spell, word, the letters are interchangeable, so it becomes the wand, the magical wand, the spell. Like when you go into the movies, you got a script and it's dialogue, and the spell is being cast on you, so you're watching this movie script and you get caught up all in that. Also, people out here can say things to you that cast a spell on you. They say something negative, and next thing you know, you're thinking, you're like, wow, well, really, is that what they see? If you pay mind to that, that's a spell that's cast. You see, you got to look for those that are cast, that if they're gonna speak to you, they're gonna, it's positive, you know, positivity or beneficial words that are gonna be like breaking the spell. You know what I'm saying? That's the objective, is to break the spell. So there's a lot of ignorance out here. People just don't understand about Freemasonry, you know, Masonry, the Blue House, all the Eastern Star, you know what I'm saying, or those ain't, and they go way back, you know, before Prince Hall. This goes way back. You know what I'm saying? There's charters, there's what they call Scylla, rites of passage, that goes way back. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you have to be smart, man. I mean, but you again, trolls are gonna do what they do, and I'm just setting the record straight and make sure that everybody here and everybody that's dear to me, even my family, Jocelyn, that no. And I know, my family is very intelligent. I can tell you that much. And they know, don't let people cast these spells on you at all. Don't let people say things to you. You know what I'm saying? That because remember, there are three perspectives, perspective that we have. We see ourselves a certain way, a certain perspective of how we see ourselves. Then there is another perspective of how people see you. And sometimes when you speak to certain people, they don't see you the way you see yourself. Oh, really? That's what you see in me? I'm like that? No, that's a different perspective. But another perspective is how your true self is how nature, the mind of nature sees you. The perspective of natural nature. See, that's where we have to grow. We have to get to know that. You know what I'm saying? That connection to the source and nature. Therefore, when that's amplified, you can manipulate perspective of how people see you and perspective of how you see yourself. You see, you have to see yourself in the natural perspective, the nature, what they call the most highest perspective there of how you're seen. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to how people see you or how you see yourself. They all three are important. They're important, but when you concentrate on the highest one, then you can control and manipulate the other perspectives. You know what I'm saying? But there are people that are always going to fight against it. They're always going to say, you this, you that, and that, because there's a lot of hurt people out here. There's people that are hurt, traumatic. They went through a traumatic experience. So a lot of times, that does happen. You know what I'm saying? But, if it's not beneficial for you, leave it alone. Get rid of it. I have in my life, I'll be vulnerable here. I have, people close to me that have been very detrimental and said things to me, very hurtful things to me, directly at me of how they see me and what they see and that I'm like, I wasn't even bored of. I don't even think that. I'm not bored of it. That's what you see? Well, what are you? Some people, I don't understand. Against traumatic. Some people, it's strange how people can see you a certain way. Maybe this. I don't know. Maybe things that you're saying, or maybe it just goes against what you're saying and the way you're living your life goes against their principles and morals and their principles. And when it goes against their principles, now they look at everybody around them and they have their own perspective of how people are. But communication is establishing that reality, that affinity, that likeness, and then that reality of, okay, if you say that I'm like this, what have I done specifically? What have I done to show you that I'm that way? What have I done? You have to take an account of what they call the emotional tone scales. Peace, brother. Los Vas. Boricua. Los Vas. Yeah, so you have to take, hold on one second. You have to take into account. You actually have to do an emotional tone scale. You got to look at it. And if the person is willing to do that, that's healing. When a person is willing to sit down with you, open up the line of communication, say, okay, let's bring out the paper and the pen. Here we draw a line. These are stuff that are destructive, that are negative, and these are done that are positive. What have I done? Let's put a list of things that I've done that are hurt you, or that you think is very derogatory, and then we're gonna go to the other side. What things have I done that you think is beneficial to this relationship? You know what I'm saying? You have to take again the account. That's being accountable for things. Sometimes you have to do that, and then you get to see. You know what I'm saying? You ask these questions, then you get to see. Oh, so that's how you interpreted that incident. That event, that's how you interpret it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be willing to be fair, both sides. You know what I'm saying? You're going to write down my stuff that I've done, derogatory and beneficial. And the same thing with you. The liabilities and beneficial. Same thing with you. You got to open yourself up, and we're going to make a list. And don't get mad. Don't get mad, because to establish a good communication, you got to have that. You have to establish that reality. You have to take into account certain things. You know what I'm saying? That's living life. That's communication. That's communication. But some people are afraid of that. Some people don't want to do that at all. You know what I'm saying? It's too much for them. It's like it's therapy. Some people don't like it. You know, I'll share something with you. I'll be vulnerable here. I'll share something with you about my ex-mate. So I was reading a book, and this book was about CIA mind control, and how they had used, Walt Disney had used certain cartoons to cast spells and to control the mind of certain children and make them nymphomaniac, make them, in other words, amplify their sexual drive and make them into what they call sexual dumping grounds. You know what I'm saying? You know, in cartoons. So I even went as far as watching the cartoons, saw it, and there's been a whole big thing on YouTube. At one time, people actually saw it, and you see it. And sometimes I watch cartoons or movies. I cannot watch it the same anymore, because I see a lot of the subliminal things that are there that can enter into your mind. So I started reading this book about CIA mind control, right? And how, you know, people were controlled, what they call ultra something, you know, mind control and stuff, and how they were experimenting with this. And so I took the book and I read it, and there's certain procedures, and I did the test on my ex-mate. I did the test on her because she was very much into cartoons and whatever. And I told her, did you know that Disney, and did you know this and that and that and that? And it creates this type of personality in our children. And you know, and man, when you open someone up like that, and they become aware of that, and you open them, if you're not careful, they become very angry. Very angry. You unleash this stuff. It's like, how can you? Oh no! Why would you do that to me? You have to be very careful. And therapy is like that. You know what I'm saying? When you open somebody's mind, there are people who can do that. They can sit down with you and they can open up your mind and bring out the stuff in you that, oh man, it can create, you know. And then, so you have to be skilled enough to when you do something like that, also offer the antidote of how to balance that particular thought, you know what I'm saying, and balance that particular skill or that therapy, you know what I'm saying. And when you look at the word therapy, they're raping your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's very dangerous when things like that happen. The best way to heal yourself is to heal yourself. Do the shadow work in the mirror. Ask yourself certain questions in the mirror. Learn about the shadow self, because when you learn about the shadow self and you get to recognize this within yourself, and you see how it could be balanced with light, and then you look at the enlightenment. I've done a lot of podcasts about that. And you just got to go revisit some of these podcasts and then we can do shadow work. You know what I'm saying? We can actually sit here with a mirror, but a lot of that stuff, I like to keep it private. A lot of that stuff is just not, I don't want to display too much here. But shadow self is asking yourself certain questions, is learning about the shadow self where you feel guilt, shame, you know, there's doctrine and dogma, there are lies, there's illusions, there's separatism, you know what I'm saying? All of this is part of the shadow self, and there's grief. You know what I'm saying? So you ask yourself these questions, and you focus on certain centers. Like for instance, in the heart center, that's grief. And you have what they call caring, love and grief, right? You can love a person, the loss of that love creates a grief. But what's in the enlightenment self is abundance or forgiveness. Forgiveness is the way you balance it. Forgiveness and abundance is the way you balance that. And a lot of times that goes into music and stuff like that. A lot of the music that you hear now are built upon lyrics that are about the shadow self. Grief, a loss of love, and I love you. I had my love and I lost her, and he makes me feel like that. She makes me feel like that, and I don't have. It's built on that. And illusions. It's built on the shadow self because they implemented that. You know what I'm saying? That's just the music industry. But then a great songwriter will balance it, offer a resolution, and a script writer. A lot of movies are based upon the shadow self, but a great script writer will offer a resolution. At the end, there's a resolution, a coming to grip moment, a revelation moment. You know what I'm saying? Even in the scriptures, in the Bible, you see many stories of grief, loss, and you see this story. And then forgiveness comes in, especially when you deal with the story of Jesus Christ. The loss, the love, the caring, and then the loss, the crucifixion, the loss, and that. And you see this in the scripts. You see this with the script of Moses and David and all of these prophets. When you read these scripts, it's based upon that and amplify the shadow because it's part of life. It's part of life. It's a part of who you are. It's a certain energy that you have, but you have to also be aware of the other energy, okay, that to balance it. A perfect balance. When you are perfectly balanced. And sometimes if you could just balance just one center, everything starts falling in place. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you shift back and forth. It can happen. It can happen. But if you stay focused and balanced in the Quebec, the center, you're good to go. You're good to go. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that you can accomplish. Anyway, with all that being said, thank you everybody came on here. Lovaz, Hansu Alex, Zay, also a 7 Element Body Shop, man, peace. Jocelyn Ayala, my beautiful cousin, man, beautiful cousin, and Hua Hanum Reba, my Zamal, and Irving, another one of my Zamals. So I just wanted to do this, set the record straight, and I hope that certain brothers see this, and I'm gonna continue sometimes surfing through the internet and getting on some of these podcasts. I got to be very careful because when you're a crown ambassador, you have to learn how to represent the emperor, empire, the empress. You have to learn how to represent its character, and if you represent the Sabiic worldwide, whatever you represent in life, you have to be a good representation of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, remember, you're part of the whole being. You know what I'm saying? And people are going to see you, and they're going to put Rahul back, Khalil. Kahil, I missed your call, man. I'm sorry about that. I'll get back to you. But yeah, you just have to be aware, man. That's, and that's what I want to do with these podcasts, just go back and check out some of those other podcasts. And from here on in, we're going to talk about culture and art faculty. Because again, like I said, in the African royal kingdom and the Empress of Sheba, greetings to the Empress of Sheba, Deborah Amelia, the Mother Throne of Thrones and the Federation of the South of Africa, the South and all of the Caribbean and Echo 6. Shout out to that. The great work is being done on that. And I'm learning every day. You know what I'm saying? I took a little step back, you know what I'm saying, to, get well and certain things that I have to do so I can be, 76 trillion% in, you know what I'm saying? But with that, you're crowned. That means crown. You represent that crown, the empress crown, and ambassador. Ambassador are dignitaries and envoy. Ambassadors are, there's certain tasks that you're given as ambassador. You are representative. So I have to be very, very careful. So when I enter to a lot of these podcasts, I have to be very careful of the way I articulate, and also of what I say, and I be careful not. We're about bringing on this awareness and about the betterment of humanity, and what I'm saying, the planet and everything. And Africa, you want to be an example of that. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an example of that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm still like to visit a lot of these podcasts. Yeah. What is it? Are you interested in collaboration on sharing healing mind, body, soul holistically? Yes. Yes, I am interested. Yes, let's do it one day. I mean, you want to do this on the stream? Let me know. Let me know. We can do this. Yes. There's a good book that a brother sent me called Spiritual Nutrition. And yes, I definitely, dealing with the mind, body, and your soul, which is your solar plexus, another mind. And holistically, yes, holistically or wholly, or what you call organically or natural nature. What's my email? I can't put it in the private chat. So let me put my email on here. Let me put my email here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Here you go. My email. This is my email here. I'm gonna put it on the screen, okay? But actually, I'm gonna put it on the chat. Oh, sorry. Well, no, sorry. Let me edit. Wait a minute. Yeah. Let me, I forgot to put, gmail.com, clos1211@gmail.com. Okay, let me put it on my banner also so everybody has that. And just, that's my email. I got a few emails, so I got professional email. I got some email. I don't mind sharing that one there, but this is my email, y'all. Anybody want to get at me? If you're interested in doing a podcast with me and want to come in as a guest and we can speak on certain things, yes. As a matter of fact, we'll pick a topic, a book. I like Back to Eden, was a good book, and now this Spiritual Nutrition is a great book that I want to also. However are you? I will be sending you. Wait, I can't read it. Freestyling at the moment. Yes, I am freestyling. When I do my presentation, I don't have my laptop, and I did have my keynotes and stuff, and I could do a great presentation. I'm on my desktop here, and I could probably do a presentation on here through PowerPoint. So I just got to navigate through that. Thank you. I'll be sending you some info. Yeah, great, my brother. Send me some information. Let's build. And like I said, let's work together on certain things. And I'm willing to learn also. And there's a lot of healing that I have to do. To be honest with you, my body took a hit. My body took a hit. I'm not eating as much as I'm not eating a lot. I'm telling you, I'm having like one meal a day. And right now I'm gonna have some salad that I'm making. I told my son to make it, but I'm eating very light. But as far as the mind, I've done a lot of podcasts on dealing with the shadow self and the light, dealing with these energy centers that are postulated, like created by our electromagnetic spectrum coming from the sun, and the way we look at this. If that sun was not to come up, not to shine, nothing, that sun was not to exist, how will we survive? How we will live? How will we procreate? How will we think? There'll be nothing to think about. You look at that. Everything that you do is based upon those electromagnetic centers that we have. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they space it out. They create this whole religion about that. I'm not about that at all. I want to keep it, organic. I want to keep it reality of how does that influence our very life now? You know what I'm saying? How can I use that information to benefit myself? You got to go back to those points. Yeah, the moon provide and sustain us. So yes, it does. Moon energy does have a force with it. We know that with the tides, that, and the women and the tide and water. And there is a narrative that it was placed there to do that purposely. It was placed there to do that. They said they shot They shot a rocket into the moon and it rained for about an hour. It's hollow, and they're saying that's a vehicle. It's just sitting there. There's a great book. There was 2 aliens. It's a great book, and I mean, this is really extraterrestrial ancient finding, and they find that this is it was placed there to sort of like, again, create conditions. The moon can help create conditions. The sun is the main being that create a condition, but you have moon energy also. And then the earth itself has an energy coming from the core. Yes. Being greater than the sun. Well, the Sirius star is a star. Is the sun. The sun is a star. The Sirius, that's another topic. Yeah, greater than the sun. It affects the Sirius. All right, most of your constellations do affect our present sun. It affects it. It affects our very life. Yeah, 30 billion years ago. Wow, you know about the story, huh? Yeah. You know about that story, man. Yeah. So these are hit stories. These are findings. You know what I'm saying? These inspirational, because it inspires the mind to think and say, wow, man, that's interesting. That's an interesting narrative. That's an interesting thought. I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, that's clairvoyance, a clear voyage. You know what I'm saying? That opens up, narratives like that and books like that can open up your clairvoyance, because you're able to see now in depth, see things in depth. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. All in blessings to everybody. Thank very much for everybody coming through here. I'm going to keep it there. And so the next podcast I'm going to do is going to be about culture, the true culture, true culture, and art, faculty, the arts. Okay. And maybe I might get down and play some drums. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and then also I'm going to wait for my brother over here, 7 Element Body Shop. He wants to do something on holistic, mind, body, and soul. And let's do something. Let's present something. And I'm down with it. I'm willing to learn too, because like I said, I'm always want to heal. Healing is maintaining. It's maintaining. When you have to constantly heal, because it's maintaining. We're bombarded by so many things on a normal basis. I don't have a set time that I'm going to come on, but probably tomorrow. It's definitely going to have to be after 5. This time right now, what time is it? 7. I think this time worked for me pretty good. 6:30, 7 o'clock. So probably around that time, I'll see if I can get on. Okay. Okay. If my conditions here in the house, my family, if it allows me to, you know what I'm saying? But all in blessings. Peace.